back here to What's Cooking Today, the nation's food, wine, restaurant, travel, and entertainment show. Michael Horn with Eric Hines.
And Michael, there's nothing better than that lovey-dovey feeling that you get when you find someone that you really, truly feel like you're matched up with.
Thank you, Eric.
Oh,
I didn't know you cared.
Of course. And right now we have a social scientist and legal analyst, Nika Kabiri, and she's going to tell us about some research that was done providing surprising attitudes about love and relationships. Nika, welcome to the show.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Good to have you, Nika Kabiri. Welcome to the broadcast here. You are you've got a PhD in the sociology from the University of Washington. You got a law degree from the University of Texas at Law School. So we get this fact that you're a social scientist, a legal analyst over there. So what is a society analyst? What do you do?
So, so Avo is a legal marketplace. It's an online resource for people who are struggling with legal issues. And,
Avo is where you work, correct?
Avo is where I work. It's avvo.com.
And what is Avo, for those of us that don't know?
Yeah, it's an online legal marketplace. We connect people with lawyers, with legal information, with legal services. And the reason why I'm there is because Avo wants to understand what people are thinking and feeling who are dealing with legal problems. And as we all know, divorce is a big one, right? So we do a study every year just trying to understand what people are going through when they go through divorce.
So you do a study on about love, relationships, and along with that, divorce, correct?
Yes. So it covers a lot of stuff.
So what did this study find? Because we'll get to divorce in a second because, that's the negative. But what about relationships? What did you learn?
So we really dug into the role of money and finances in relationships and dating and marriage these days. And one real interesting finding was that, people who are dating, mostly men, think that dating should cost a lot of money, but women are less likely to think that. Women they're really more comfortable with the idea of not having a really expensive date. Guys are the ones who are kind of hard. They find out hard to let go. So if you're a guy and you want to date a lot, you don't sweat spending a lot of money. I think if the connection's there, it should work.
So the money doesn't influence the dating process or the relationship as much as people think. Is that what you're saying?
I think it doesn't as much as we all might think it does, and it seems like men are the ones who think it's a bigger deal than it might actually be.
What if one of the couple? What if one of them's in debt or something? That's got to be something you got to look at, isn't it, before you really couple up?
Oh, now that's a different story. Yeah. So, not spending a lot is one thing. Being in debt is a totally different thing. So in our study, we found that most Americans would not be comfortable, would not marry someone who has a lot of debt. So, you might find your soulmate, but if you're not debt free, you could have a little bit of trouble, getting married to them.
Not to be weird, but do you have to check out the kind of car they drive, get an idea, and look at their shoes at the same time?
Some people did. It's really hard to delicately bring that up in a conversation.
I know. That's why I brought it up here. I brought it up because I wanted to see if it's something that we should think about.
Yep. I mean, it's definitely more and more the case these days. You have to have these open conversations before you get married. I think that's why a lot of people who have prenups. There aren't a lot of people who have prenups. Only 4% of Americans say they have one. But that's a really great opportunity. People are telling us, where they've worked out some of the kinks of their relationship just by talking through the prenup process.
Nika Kabiri is here. She is from Avo. We're talking about a new study out on attitudes about love and relationships. What about online dating? That's made things change. What'd you find out there?
Yeah, so I have to say I've tried online dating. I didn't love it so much, but half of people who tried it say it's fun. 60% are saying it is a great place to find a meaningful relationship. And what's really surprising is that more men than women believe this, that men are more likely to think, I'll find the love of my life online.
What about marriage? Is it still as strong as it was? Is it working out? Are people still seeking out marriage? Are they just living together? Or what did you find out there?
Yeah, what we're finding is that, not surprisingly, because happiness is such a central piece of all of our lives. We all want happiness and personal fulfillment at work. We definitely want it in our relationships. And so, we found that 80% of people out there say they'd rather be alone and happy than in a relationship where they're not happy. That personal fulfillment is kind of a big drive in relationships, and it's also a drive out. If you're not happy, it's these days it's much more the case that you won't stick it through. You'll just try to find that happiness.
You're on the legal site there at AVO, and Nika Kabiri is here with us. What about divorce? What's that looking like on this research that you did?
Again, divorce, we hear a lot about arguments about money being a big deal. People have been wondering these days with the political climate being what it is, or married couples arguing about politics.
Yeah, do they?
Is that leading divorce?
Is that one of the deals? Yeah, is that it? The politics? What leads to divorce?
It's not. People think it's causing a strain on a lot of relationships, but cheating is really the thing. And also just bad communication, I think, and they're often related. Growing apart, bad communication that leads to cheating. Those are the top 3 reasons why couples split.
Plus, you can kind of on the first date let the person you're out with. I always like to wear my "Make America Great Again" hat when I go out. So it's kind of this.
Well,
don't go. Oh
that's
no,
one
Erica.
way to weed out people who aren't your, who aren't potential mates,
the
right?
sanctuary city crowd. You can just kind of push them aside. But so you're saying that's not all it is. It's about cheating is number one. That's good. That's bad that is cheating, but that's kind of always been the basic thing. What about when you get divorced? That takes a while sometimes to get back on the dating field or after a bad relationship. What about love after divorce or a breakup?
Yeah, it does take a while. In fact, for some people, it's just not happening. Right now, 1 of 3 divorced people say they're single. Most of them are women. And 1 out of 5 of these single divorced people are looking for a romantic partner. That means the rest of them are just happy being single. I think divorce is, kind of a rough thing. It kind of leaves you a little sore. But also, the longer that you've been married, the longer you feel wrapped up in your marriage, and you lose your identity a little bit. And I think being divorced is, for a lot of people, it's an opportunity to just kind of go it alone and figure themselves out.
We got about 30 seconds, but I saw you had a fact here. After Valentine's Day, there's a 30% spike in people seeking legal advice about their relationship. Is that true?
Yeah, Valentine's Day puts love and romance at the forefront of everyone's mind. So it really forces people who aren't happy in a relationship to reevaluate their relationship.
Where do we get more information? Give us the website.
avvo.com. That's avo.com.
avvo.com. Don't be a stranger here, Nika Kabiri. You're very good. We got to have you back on. You're our relationship expert now. Go to avvo.com. Find out more about the relationship research and relationships.
I'm Jay Farner, president of Quicken Loans. If you own a home, there's a good chance its value has gone up. In fact, year over year, housing values nationwide have risen by more than 6%, one of the largest increases